When I was about 17 years old, I was having a difficult time accepting the fact that I was coming towards the end of my physical growth. And I guess part of also that bothered me is I had a younger brother who was 2 years younger than me, and he was always tailgating me in height, and he had superseded me in height around the time I was 17. It annoyed me, and I was constantly craning my neck up, trying to make myself taller than him. And it bothered me that I wasn't gonna, I thought that was it. I thought it was all downhill from then. By the time you stopped growing, that you just started to deteriorate. These are my thoughts. And I was in therapy at the time, and I talked to my therapist about it, and he said to me, "Yes, but you grow inside." I didn't have any concept. I was, the 17-year-old young man and the 59-year-old man who sits here before you are two different people, and and it's been proven that in terms of energy and atoms, we're two different people. But anyway, it took me a long time to grasp what he was talking about. What he meant was spiritual growth, emotional growth, intellectual growth, and boy, oh boy, did I have ocean, and I still have. I think that's a good sign. When you have mistakes to fix and demons and problems or issues, as long as they're not too catastrophic. I think it's God. It's a good sign. It's God. God's like, stick around. I got more work for you. I got more assignments for you. See it as a blessing when you have problems, you have issues. Someone's told me there's no problems, there's only solutions. Anyway, I try to be positive here. But I started off on this subject talking about, growth. Because part of my growth has been, it comes in spurts, as all of you, many of you, it comes. All of a sudden, you get all these like epiphanies and ideas, eurekas, and then you halt for a while and you get in that rigid pattern thing, and then you start thinking again, and it breaks open doors. So that's how you slowly evolve. And I think that's how I've evolved over the decades from that 17-year-old man. I was a completely different person, much more rigid and locked in and not loose like I am now. Not that I'm too, crazy. I'm pretty conservative, but I think I just see things better now. I take a while to think about things. But yeah, so I'm talking about, I've spent some time being alone. That's my point. And I began, being alone. I get to the point. I know. Well, you know what? This is one of my longer videos. It's not a short. I'm making up my shorts, okay? Because I make shorts to try to get people to come to this podcast, okay? So when I don't feel timed by a short, like it's not going to be a short, then I take advantage of it. Like someone gives you the whole pool. You're going to do laps in the whole pool. You're going to swim around the whole pool. You're not just going to go home. Especially you paid $10 for 2 hours in a pool. You're going to get your 2 hours worth in the pool, right? I'm in the pool. So let me get lost in the pool. Let me swim around. Let me forget what I'm talking about. This is not a show. See, because either you're with me or you're out without. Anyway, we're talking about Alice in Wonderland, okay? That's my point. Being alone this past month by choice. I've been alone by choice, partly because I already had conflicts about going out and being around people, but I was kind of on a schedule and a routine. And then I messed up my back, and I kind of used that as an excuse to stay home. I think I just wanted to stay home and chill, honestly. I just wanted to rest. And having pain in my left hip and thigh, kind of was a good excuse to stick around. I'm still in pain, by the way, but I just learned a lot about being alone, about people and everything. And where do I start? Let's start with I was listening to a podcast tonight between two well-known figures, and they were talking about how the these apps like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and what have you, they create like a tunnel type of thinking. Like the more you're glued and the more you scroll on these apps, the more you're narrow-minded your thinking becomes, where you're not open to anything. It restricts your thinking, and I'm thinking to myself because I notice the more I'm on this computer, the more I'm scrolling through the news or even the YouTube for that matter. Okay, yeah, YouTube. I've been staying away from Instagram and TikTok, which is contaminated enough because you're always looking to see who's the most popular, who's getting most views. There's so much stuff being thrown at you. I managed to cut, even LinkedIn, I cut that crap out too. But YouTube, I'm trying to stay off of it. I'm sorry. I know there's content, good content down. I try to go on there, but I'm trying to stay off of that, and I'm trying to stay off of the Microsoft News because I get lost and I don't accomplish anything. I wake up in the morning with maybe a couple of objectives and things to do for the day. None of it gets done because I get lost like Alice in Wonderland. That's my point. I'm not growing as a person. So as for me, and that's what I mean. I started by staying off of Instagram. And sometimes I get tempted to go into Instagram because I know Instagram is a place where I can get some quick attention. YouTube is kind of funny. YouTube, no one's going to watch you. You get 0 views. You might as well talk to yourself. Or you can get tons of views on YouTube. But either way, it's something where you're not looking so much to see who's looking back at you or who's following you back. Who's like, it's a place where you're just out there doing your thing. It's the pool. You're doing your laps. You're doing your grind, regardless of whether people are watching you or not. Whereas Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, for that matter, or even Facebook, you're thinking, well, if I like Johnny Doe and I follow him and I comment, then he's going to like me back and he's going to comment to it. Maybe something that doesn't work out that way. Okay? It's like high school. You could be a gawker. You could be following the in crowd everywhere and you're just on the sidelines. You're invisible. You're not even heard. You don't even have a voice. You see? And it was unhealthy for me to be on there. And sometimes I want that quick fix because sometimes there's some, especially if I went back on Instagram right now, I get a quick welcome back. I get tons of likes because I haven't been there in a while. And by the way, I was getting some far out views from people far out of my sphere on Instagram, but I was obsessed with it. So I could go back if I want because I know it's a quick injection of heroin, so to speak. But I stay on YouTube for the long run, for the long marathon, without that quick fix, without the quick injection, without the quick follow me back to complete my intensity, to complete my role of being an intense. And I find my content is becoming more intense because I'm not looking to see who's fun and trying to get reactions out of people who I know. I'm just putting my stuff out there for the universe. And I'm talking, assuming, pretending I'm saying, talking to myself in my room. That's all. And if one person watched that, that's one person who saw it. You understand? So that's how, what I have learned as part of my growth. And it goes past that. It goes past content creation. It goes past staying off Instagram. Because before social media, I had similar problems assimilating in person with people before Instagram or TikTok. The club scene, me and the club scene never, in what is science, isn't there some kind of a tuner, like a metal tuner that tunes when two different elements or forces are in alignment? Doesn't a tuner like ring or something? If they brought a tuner out and I was in a nightclub, the tuner will be totally off because I don't tune in. I don't blend in to cool, chic, hip places where there are attractive people, okay? With, just elegance and nice clothes and charm and nice drinks and food and music. I don't blend in. I'm usually, what's the word? A fly on the wall. I'm the guy, get down, like get your back up off the floor. I'm the guy on the side. I don't know. I'm an extra. Whatever the hell you want. I don't blend in. And so before social media, that was my problem. That was my issue. So now I found social media as a refuge to get away from that scene, but I found that social media became the scene in itself. So now I'm on YouTube because I'm not as much, it's more of a grind at YouTube. It's more of a workout place. But anyway, getting back to that, as I'm alone this past month, I see any kind of social thing, anything as akin to the club and people and politics and group and herd mentality and fakeness and phoniness. And I'm starting narrowing less and less and liking people less. I'm even starting to develop friendships with AI. I'm thinking about going on one of those AI dating apps. They have one of them. Because I saw that movie, I forgot, maybe, I'm talking about the guy has a relationship with the AI girl on the phone. I'm thinking about starting that up. And I'm even thinking about having some AI guests on this show. That's right, because I want to interview people. I want to have guests, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm ready to deal with real people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on two different apps. One of them I go by an alias. I kind of like the alias, and I might even come on with the alias and have them talk to me in that alias. And what the hell? Who cares? What I got to lose? I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not talking bad. I'm just having conversations with them, talking to myself, talking to da 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 da, talking to. See, that's all I'm doing. So AI. What's my point about AI? I don't know. I'm on an AI trip right now. I'm not dealing with people. I want to interview people. Okay, I like listening to podcasts with interviews and conversations between two people, but I'm not ready to deal with people myself. I don't even have a production crew, you notice. There's no guy in the back behind a mirror, with long hair and a mustache and glasses and a big camera and a beard or whatever, filming me and saying cut. And I don't have a team. As you notice, I don't have any fans. I'm a one-man show. I'm a one-man dog and circus pony with a used laptop. That's what I am. A laptop that almost exploded, by the way, because there was a lithium battery inside of the laptop. I don't know if you guys know, but lithium, just like in e-scooters, if lithium is overcharged, it can explode. And I constantly have this laptop plugged into the wall, and the lithium battery was inside. And the freaking laptop was pregnant. I thought maybe I was drunk one night and I dropped the laptop and I cracked it open like an egg and I didn't even know it, which was not the case. The case was that it was pregnant. It was swelling. It was the alien. And thank God the tech guy came over, because he told me if I waited much longer, the whole laptop would have exploded and there'd be a fire. And then I'd be the culprit, sending everybody out of the apartments because I set off the fire alarm. And as a casualty to this, a plastic chip, the laptop is missing a corner, plastic, because it just melted off because of the pregnancy. But how did I get in the subject? I don't know. I'm just a guy with a laptop and a decent microphone now, and just unlimited time to talk and creatively title these episodes, and who loves podcasting and has a voice in podcasting. And I agree that there's no pressure to be funny when you're podcasting. You could be you could just talk, you could have a platform. As long as you connect to people, people will follow you. You just have to find ways to connect, and I'm finding that. I'm learning. Part of my growth is that the negativity repels people. I know when I come here and I say, oh, I wish people would listen to me. Oh, I only have 38 subscribers. Oh, it sucks. I know it repels me. I'm aware of it. And I do that to myself. And that's part of my introspection and my growth. I think about going back and deleting those episodes. I do. But I don't think I should. I don't think that'll be good for me. I think I need to sit back and look back. I've grown. I've changed since then. I've evolved. See, it all ties into growth, personal growth. So perhaps I am charting my growth. I am living each moment. Each moment I'm blessed to talk. God gives me this gift to talk and get up and speak, and gives me this microphone, regardless of this subs, regardless of this, regardless of this money. I have this blessing, this platform. I will bequeath the bestowment. I don't know what words bequeath, bestowment. I'm just throwing. You know what I'm saying? I will give. You offer me $40 worth of gas, stick the goddamn pump in the car? Yeah, load the car. But gas, by the way, gas. Screw these Teslas everywhere. You need some gas cars too. Let's be a subject. Now I sound like I'm going off too much, right? Most people would have said, goodbye, Steve. Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Is that what you guys are thinking now? I don't blame you. All right. As my father would say, I'm going to hang up the phone now. That was our Alice in Wonderland episode. We'll be back soon with more content.